Hey guys, my name is Maria Park, and this is Approach to Nerd. In this episode, we are reviewing Black Lightning, Season 4, Episode 1, the season premiere of the last season, called The Book of Reconstruction. Um, Lots going on. So basically, it has been 1 year since the ASA lockdown, the war with Markovians and Gravedigger and Odell and all the unnecessary bullcrap they had to go through last season. Grace, unfortunately, is still in a coma, and it's kind of hard to treat her because of her shape shifting ability. So every time they try to treat her, I guess her powers burn off the treatment. Um, Grace basically is going to be injected with a cocktail that Lynn has concocted, something new she's trying, I guess, after a year. And she thinks that it may have promised to let the treatments work. So we'll see what happens with that. I don't think that Grace will be in a coma the entire season because that would be kind of stupid, being that this is the last season. So yeah, I think it'll be fine. Interestingly, though, Jen was so pro her sister just leaving and going on with her life, because apparently Anissa had been there every day. That's her girlfriend slash fiance. And she always leaves crying, and Jen's like, I just don't like seeing you in pain. You should just let it go. Now we all know how Jen acted about Khalil. If that had been Khalil, then that would have been a whole different story. And Anissa even kind of calls her out on that. So I thought that was interesting. But I see it. I know she's worried about her sister, but still, I think that was probably a little shitty to say. We do see Gamby, though. He was offered a job by one of his old friends named Lauren, who I think may be a romantic interest for him this season, because he turns down the job, but she says, I cried when I thought you were dead, and then kisses him and says she basically she made it the comment she made saying, I'll be using you for your information later, just seems like a way of saying, oh, I'll be seeing you later. So I know the actor who plays Gamby wants to have a romantic interest, and literally this is your last shot. It's the last season. So I think Lauren might be endgame for Gamby. So we shall see. Now Jefferson in this episode is going through a lot. A lot. There is a very emotional scene where he's talking to the ghost of his father about losing his brother and best friend, Henderson, and how he feels guilty for letting him into his world, and he feels like he got his friend killed. I'll add on to that, him and Lynn are having lots of problems in their marriage. Now, Lynn, I think she's gorgeous. I think she's brilliant, but she gets on my effing nerves sometimes. She really gets on my nerves. Half the crap with the ASA probably would have been avoided had she talked to Jefferson in the last season. And this season, she's also being very shady, which I'll get to in a second. But they're in marriage counseling. She's blaming him for not going out with their daughters. And, they're making it vague for the marriage counselor. But she's saying, oh, your daughters were out there and they need your guidance. And he's like, really? You're going to bring them up now? I'm always there for my girls. What the hell, And then the marriage counselor asked Lynn how her sobriety's doing. And I love how she kind of stumbled on that. And I'm like, like, because, she was addicted to the green last season, and it wasn't her fault. It was Odell. He orchestrated that whole thing to get her addicted. But I feel like once an addict, always an addict. And so her latest thing that she's not telling Jefferson about is she's injecting herself with the DNA of different metahumans. And right now she injected herself with Gravedigger's push power, which she uses to stop two sex traffickers. They're about to shake. I want to say the girl was a nurse. They're trying to drag her into the van, and she just makes them stop. She makes the one guy knock the other guy out and then go report them. And she's very excited because she's able to extend the length of time she can use it in her body. So now she's going to try a different one the following week. So yeah, I don't know if she's doing it out of fear for her family and Freeland being taken over again, or if it's addiction. My thoughts are maybe both. Like I said, once an addict, always an addict. But yeah, Lynn's doing some stuff and not talking to Jefferson. So her doing that line saying, Jefferson, I really need you, I don't really get, because it's not like she was going to tell him anyway. So add on to that, Jefferson is driving home after the marriage counseling appointment, and he sees this young boy who basically was playing the violin, I guess, because you hear a violin and you see him walking down the street with a violin, and these two racist cops pull up, just grab him, throw him down and say, where are the drugs? And it's like, what? And Jefferson sees them doing this to this kid and he gets mad. And I guess he's angry, he's hurt. He wants people to feel the hurt that he feels. So he just starts electrocuting the hell out of them. I mean, he just does. He erases their memories. He destroys the cam in the car and the body cams, and he walks away. But unfortunately, part of his plate was captured by some of the street cams. So yeah, he didn't, because he wasn't in the Black Lightning suit, which he is now refusing to wear, which is silly because if he uses his powers too much, it could kill him without the suit taking the reserve. So, his nervous system would shut down. But yeah, he's refusing because of Henderson and everything that went down. He's not going to wear the suit anymore. And he did this in broad daylight as Jefferson Pierce. So he's got problems. Later, when Gamby's trying to convince him to wear the suit, he tells him about the partial. We first heard about the partial plate then, and Gamby says that he takes care of it, but it actually comes to bite him in the ass later, which I'll get to. So yeah, marriage issues. He's hurt over, he's grieving over Henderson, and tired of everybody's BS. I get it. I really do. I get it. So let's talk about the new chief of police. Her name is Ana Lopez. And the first thing she does in her speech was say she wants to tag and register all metahumans. So Freeman's having its own little civil war, a Marvel civil war in the DC world. We already know from an interview by Lopez's actress that the character is intending to buy high-powered weapons for all of the Freeland police officers in order to give them an edge against any metahuman criminals. Now, this means shit's about to get real. And we actually got a taste of that because Lala has a bunch of drug shipments coming in, and Anissa and Jennifer, as Thunder and Lightning, keep ambushing them. They do it twice. And he gets so mad that he actually gets some of the same guns he's probably going to end up giving, or somehow they're going to get to the police. She says buy, but maybe they confiscate. But he ends up giving 3 of his guys the guns that will hurt metahumans. And so they set a trap, and Jennifer and Anissa walk into it, thinking it's a third bus, and Jennifer ends up getting shot by one of the weapons. And when I said Jefferson didn't want to be Black Lightning anymore, his reaction to Jennifer being shot is interesting, simply because Tobias Well is still alive. Obviously, we know Tobias is not dead. And of course, Jefferson and Anissa and Lynn all see him on TV on Jefferson and Lynn's anniversary. So Anissa and Lynn want to kill him. And Jefferson's like, no, we don't kill. He is so upset that they are so willing to kill this person. And I can see both sides. They're doing it. They're saying this crap out of fear. He's like, my wife and my daughter have no problem taking people out anymore. Really daughters, because I don't think Jen does either. So he is very, very upset. And he still tells them, though, I will deal with Tobias. Nobody's going to do anything. You're not killing anyone. But when Jennifer gets shot by one of the meta, guns, he finds the guy and he beats him to the point where he's crippled in the hospital. So Jefferson's losing it. I will say, though, when he was zapping those racist cops, I got a really, really big satisfaction out of watching it. So very good scene. We're also introduced to Detective Hassan Shakur. You guys know I butcher names. Just let it go. He is Henderson's protege. And apparently Henderson wrote a letter to Black Lightning, which is really Jefferson. But Hassan doesn't know that Jefferson is Black Lightning yet. But he tells him that, Detective Hassan, or Hassan, or Brother Hassan, is a great man. Basically, if he's his protege, then, Henderson has full faith in him, and he thinks that he would be very loyal to Black Lightning. But when Hassan meets him in an alley, of course, Jefferson's on top of this, I guess, truck, boulder, whatever. I don't know what the heck they're meeting on the dock, I think. I have to go back and look. But when they were meeting, and he was hiding, he was projecting his voice. And Hassan's like, I haven't decided whether I'm going to come after you, basically, because he apparently has a problem with metahumans, or if he's going to, aid him. But he notices that Black Lightning hasn't been around helping people. And he tells him when he grows his balls back, give him a call. So we don't know where Hassan's loyalties lie, but he was described in the letter as ex-special forces and also a genius. And that is how I think they got the partial plate, because later in the episode, remember I told you that earlier, Gamby told him that he took care of the problem with the partial plate. Well, the new, chief of police, Ana Lopez, and, Detective Hassan Shakur go right up to the school where Jefferson's sitting in the principal's office, and they start questioning him about the partial plate. So what I think happened is, I think Hassan is as a hacker, and so he hacked Gamby. Or unhacked, should I say? He fixed what was hacked. So that's going to be interesting. I'm really curious to see where this goes, because when they talk to Jefferson and they leave, both, of course, Lopez and Hassan both say that they know Jefferson's lying. So now he's got even more problems. Like, it just never ends. And then, of course, Tobias. So Tobias is reinventing himself. He wants to be the new savior of Freeland, but his end game is Lynn. I think he realizes the research Lynn's doing, injecting herself with metahuman DNA, and he wants in on it. So he donates a bunch of money to the labs that she works for, and make sure that he has a tour. He's also on the board of directors, and introduces himself like they don't know each other. And Lynn kind of goes along with it. And he's like, I'm really interested in your work, and I'm sure we'll be seeing each other more and more, in the future. And I'm like, that's a threat. So that's not good. That is not good. So that's going to be interesting. Like I said, there's a lot going on in Freeland, a lot. And finally, we know Jen's been flying around and like charging herself and, just having a great time. But she got shot. She started healing, really quickly. But the show kind of ends with her, flying and getting ready to charge herself. And then you see where she was shot. I guess there's like blue lightning energy like flashing in her chest. And then she just drops out of the air. Don't know what happened. Don't know what's going to happen, but not good. So yeah, I think that gunshot affected her a lot more than they realized. And that means that those weapons that the cops are going to have, the Freeland police are going to have on the street, yeah, it's about to get real. So yeah, this was a good episode. Like I said, I have a lot of problems with Lynn's attitude. I love the actress. I love the character. She just gets on my effing nerves sometimes. Like, they've started writing her where she complains about everything, and she's so like wishy-washy and bitchy all the time. And it just really bothers me. I don't know. It just bothers me. I feel so bad for Anissa. I mean, Grace being in a coma for a year, that's hard. That is hard. I am excited about Gamby getting a love interest, though. If this Lauren girl turns out to be, his endgame, I would not be unhappy with that. Lala definitely is posing some issues, but he is very pissed that Tobias is alive. So I think that there's going to be a lot going on with that. So I'm excited. And then this whole, new chief of police, Ana Lopez, she, yeah, I mean, she wants to protect, Freeland. Everyone's trying to rebuild Freeland. I mean, everyone's on the same page in that regard, but she wants to hunt down, tag, and register all metahumans. She didn't just say criminals. She said all metahumans. So this is going to be an interesting thing, because I don't think Thunder and Lightning and Black Lightning are in any scope are going to allow them themselves to be registered and tagged. So I'm excited for this season. I want to know what you guys think. So please leave me a comment below and let me know. And if you would like to sign up for jury duty, hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to know who's next in their bell, hit the notification bell. Until next time, I can't wait for you to approach the nerd. Bye, guys.
Thank you for watching my video. I really appreciate it, but hey, the party doesn't have to stop now. Click on one of these videos and keep it going.